Hello, my name is Reggie and welcome to my channel. Today I will be sharing with you my most anticipated releases of fall 2017. I haven't done one of these videos in so long, but they're some of my favorite to compile and film for you guys, so I'm really excited to be getting back into these. This video will contain some anticipated releases from August, September, October, and November. However, before I get into the anticipated releases, you should subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and hit the bell dude if you have subscribed but want to be notified when I post new videos. Without further ado, let's get into the anticipated releases, because there's a lot of them. The first book I have to talk to you about today will definitely be out already by the time this video goes up. This is The Secret History of Us by Jessie Kirby. This came out on August 1st. If you didn't know already, Jessie Kirby is one of my all-time favorite authors, and I'm so excited to read this book. I'm really excited to read this because I've heard it's her best work yet. This basically follows a girl who has, I think it's a coma-induced amnesia, and so she's trying to figure out what's going on and what happened. The next book came out on August 8th, and that is Paper Girls Volume 3. This is a graphic novel by Brian K. Vaughan. It follows a group of girls on their paper route, and they find something weird and mysterious going on in their town while they're paper routing. And that's just all I'm gonna tell you. This is the third volume of the graphic novel series. Big Brian K. Vaughan fan, so of course I'm excited for this. On August 8th, we also got Little and Lion by Brandy Colbert. All I know about this book is that it deals with a bipolar disorder, and I've heard it's pretty good. Then I have two books that I'm excited about that come out on August 29th. The first one is The Dazzling Heights by Katherine McGee. This is the second book in the Thousandth Floor series. I read The Thousandth Floor not too long ago, really enjoyed it, and I'm excited to get into the sequel. This is a world in which basically there are city towers, so the cities are encapsulated in these huge towers wildly in the future, and the tower we are following is New York City. We follow a bunch of characters who live at various points in the tower and are intertangled in each other's lives for various reasons, and at the end of the first book, which is not a spoiler because you find out this on the first page, someone falls off the tower. So throughout the first book, we're trying to figure out who that is, what kind of led to that incident happening, and the second book, we're kind of delving into, I assume, what happens next. Also coming out on August 29th is The Big F by Maggie Ann Martin. Maggie Ann Martin is a booktuber, and I'm really excited to support this book from her. I have an e-arc of this, so I should probably read it soon. Next, we have books that come out in September. There are a lot of these. First up, coming out on September 5th, we have The Dreadful Tale of Prospero Redding by Alexandra Bracken. This is a middle grade book by the beloved Alexandra Bracken. I say beloved because she's beloved by me, but she's one of my all-time favorite authors, so of course I'm going to read her newest book. I actually have no idea what it's about, and I'd like to keep it that way. Also coming out on September 5th, we have They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. I have not read any of Adam Silvera's books. I know, I want to read all of them. However, this is the one I'm most excited to read. Basically, the concept of this book is that we live in a world where science and technology have advanced to the point where we can now pinpoint the exact day you're gonna die. So basically, when you have 24 hours to live, you're gonna get a phone call saying you're gonna die. That way you can live up your last 24 hours however you see fit. Because we live in this world now, there's become a need. This need is an app that will help you find people who are also going to die within the same time frame as you, so you can connect up, talk about it, etc., etc. So our story follows two boys who meet each other on their last day through the app, and this is basically the story of their last day, but also their first day together. Adam's books always sound really good, but out of all of them, this is the concept that really gets me excited. This is the one that I'm most excited for. Finally, also coming out on September 5th, we have Genuine Fraud by E. Lockhart. E. Lockhart is one of my favorite authors, so of course I would be excited for this book. I actually know nothing about it because I really like to go into a lot of books blind, so I might be saying that a lot throughout this video that I don't know what this book is about. I apologize for that, and I will link some Goodreads links down below because I know not everyone is like that. However, for me, I don't want to know what this book is about, so I'm sorry, I can't tell you more. Now this one is a little bit different, but on September 13th, we are getting the first issue in Rainbow Rowell's run of Runaways. So if you don't know, Rainbow Rowell is continuing the Marvel comic book run of the Runaways series. This was first written by Brian K. Vaughan, and it is basically a group of superheroes who are teenagers and run away from home when they find out that their parents are actually supervillains. I think the first trade paperback is going to come out in 2018, but I just wanted to let you guys know. I'm super excited for this issue, and that comes out this fall. On September 19th, we have Moxie by Jennifer Matthew. I have an e-arc of this book, and I'm so excited to read it. I'm going to be reading it very soon, I believe, and it's just one of the books I'm super excited for because it sounds right up my alley. Basically, this follows a girl who is in Texas, I believe, and starts a feminist revolution in her small town, I believe, or at least in her Texas town, fighting against all the sexism that she is encountering in her school, and it just sounds fantastic. Next up, also on September 19th, we have One Dark Crown by Kendar Blake. This is the sequel to Three Dark Crowns, which is a fantasy story in which we have 3 queens who have to fight to the death for the crown, and I don't know too much about this. I do own the first book, but I haven't read it yet, but I'm really excited to get the second book and binge them back to back. Next up, coming out on September 26th, we have Invictus by Ryan Groden. Ryan Groden is the author of Wolf by Wolf, which I haven't read, but I've heard fantastic things about and I'm really excited to read. This book just sounds super exciting and super up my alley. Essentially, it's about time traveling, which is a thing I really enjoy reading about, but don't read about too often. So I'm really excited to read this book, especially from an author who is well-versed in historical fiction. Also coming out on September 26th is There's Someone Inside of Your House by Stephanie Perkins. I've not read any of Stephanie Perkins' books before this. I don't plan on reading any of Stephanie Perkins' books before this because they just don't interest me, but this one does. This is basically a YA horror, and I'm super excited for it. Next up is October. All of the books come out in October. Oh my goodness, so many book releases. So the first one I want to talk about is October 3rd. We're getting the 3rd installment in the illustrated editions of Harry Potter. So Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, illustrated by Jim Kay, will be dropping to us, and I'm just so excited because this is one of my favorite books in the Harry Potter series. Also coming out on October 3rd is The Ship of the Dead, which is the 3rd book in the Magnus Chase series by Rick Riordan. This is a trilogy, so this will be concluding the series for us, but this is my favorite series that Rick Riordan has written, so I'm really excited to see how it concludes. This is essentially the same concept of Rick Riordan's stories. We are following a demigod. However, instead of the traditional Greek or Roman mythology, we are now following a Norse mythology, and I'm super into these books. Also coming out on October 3rd is The Devil That Breaks You by Libba Bray, which is the 3rd book in the Diviners series. If you don't know, The Diviners is one of my favorite books all time. I love this series and I'm so excited for the 3rd book, and I'm excited that it's coming out now because I thought it would take a lot longer for Libba Bray to write. This is going to be a 4-book series, so this is not the conclusion, but I'm still really excited for this installment in the series. Diviners is basically a horror type story that involves a girl who moves to New York City and helps her uncle who works for an occult museum, and crazy things start happening, and it's fantastic. And the last book coming out on October 3rd is Ringer by Lauren Oliver. This is the 2nd book in the Replica series. Replica is essentially a biological story that is told in 2 different stories. Then, coming out on October 10th is Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. I'm so excited for this. This is going to be an Own Voices John Green book about OCD. I'm so excited. This is about obsessional OCD, which is the kind of OCD that John Green has. Then on October 10th, we have another one of my most anticipated releases, and it's Into the Bright Unknown, which is the 3rd and final book in the Walk on Earth, a Stranger trilogy by Ray Carson. If you guys are new here, hi! Ray Carson is my favorite author. I'm so excited for this book. Trilogy essentially follows a girl who has super witchy powers where she can sense gold, which is great because she lives in the era of the gold rush. During the 1st book, her parents are murdered and she flees west in search of gold and freedom, and the book is just fantastic. The last book that I want to talk to you about that comes out on October 10th is This Darkness Mine by Mindy McGinnis. I'm a huge fan of Mindy McGinnis, even though I've only read 1 book by her. I'm really a big fan of her. I've seen her speak and I've met her, and she's a fantastic human being. She's written one of my favorite books of all time, which is The Female Species. This is a psychological thriller by Mindy McGinnis. Psychological thrillers are some of my favorite stories, books, movies, TV shows, etc. So I'm really excited to see this story brought to life by Mindy McGinnis, and someone who I love so much. Then on October 17th, we have another one of my most anticipated releases of the year. My goodness, I'm gonna spend all of the money ever in October, but this is Dear Martin by Nick Stone. This is the story of a young Black student who is going to school and doing really good. He's valedictorian bound, Ivy League bound, and for one reason or another, I don't know the details because I haven't read the book yet, he gets caught up in a police conflict. Shots are fired, that's all I know. And in the ensuing media whirlwind that happens after this incident, our main character, Justice, is kind of portrayed by the media as the villain of everything that's going down, combating this, and it's his story of how this is affecting him. So in attempts to just kind of reconcile what's going on and kind of get his emotions out, he starts writing letters like journal-y type letters to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And so that's where the story Dear Martin comes in. I've heard nothing but glowing reviews from the people who've read it. Angie Thomas blurbed this and just had nothing but lovely things to say about it. I'm just really, really excited for this book. And the last book I have to share with you for October that I'm really excited about is Harry Potter, A History of Magic. This is kind of like an encyclopedia type book that is being released all about the Harry Potter world, and I'm super excited for it. In November, on the 7th, we have Renegades by Marissa Meyer. This I'm really excited for because I'm a big Marissa Meyer fan, if you didn't know. This is the first non-retelling she is putting out, and I'm super excited for it. It's basically about kids with superpowers. We just definitely need more books like that in our lives, right? I'm excited. Also coming out on November 7th is The Becoming of Noah Shaw by Michelle Hodkin. This is the continuation of the Mara Dyer trilogy, which I loved and I'm super excited to see continued on. And the last book I have to talk to you about today, the last book, is the book that I cannot wait to get my hands on. This is Artemis by Andy Weir. The Martian by Andy Weir is one of my favorite books I've ever read. It's so good. I love it so much. It's fantastic. This book is Andy Weir's sophomore book, his second book he's like traditionally publishing. So excited to read it. This is basically about a heist on the moon. I'm so excited. There are so many books coming out this fall. I'm excited for everything on this list and even more books than this, but these are the ones I'm most excited for. And I hope you're excited for these books as well. If you enjoyed this video, you should give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. You should also comment down below. Let me know if there's any books you're excited for that I missed on this list. Also let me know which books you're most excited for, whether they're on this list or not. That's all for this video, so I'll see you in my next one. Bye!
Baby, I've been here, yeah.